Hi, God bless everyone. In today's video, I am going to show you how to cut and sew this beautiful gathered gown in puff sleeves. If you're new to the channel and you like what you're seeing or interested in sewing, please definitely click on the subscribe button and join the family. So first of all, I've already folded my fabric into four. And in case you are wondering what fabric this is an organza fabric. Okay, this is like a patterned organza fabric. So this is a polka dotted organza fabric. All right, so moving forward, what you're going to do now is to measure out the distance from your waist point down to wherever it is you want the gown to stop. Okay, so mine is 22 inches and I measured that out and I'm cutting it out directly, okay, on a straight line. So once you do that, your skirt point is definitely okay. So you just have to fold that and then you move over to the juicy part, which is the front. All right, so on the front, I have folded this fabric into two. I'm going to be using this pattern that I created to make this. Okay, so do not be confused and do not feel somehow. At this point now, if you do not know anything about this, I've already created a detailed tutorial and it's on my channel on how to create this pattern. Okay, so that video is going to show you on how to go about this pattern one step at a time. All right, so don't be confused. You can definitely go ahead and then watch that first and then you come back and watch this one so that you will not be confused. All right, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, we are going to go ahead and then cut around the neckline, around the shoulder points, and also towards the armhole. So at this point now, I'm just going to cut this out gently and slowly just so that I will not cut into my pattern paper. All right, so moving down to the side, I'm going to be cutting and be adding ½ inch to that. Okay, I'm not going to be cutting directly on the paper line. So right now, I'm going to fold over my pattern paper like this. It's just the easiest way to get your half length, okay, instead of going measuring all over again. Then as you're cutting, be sure to add ½ inch to that. I just eyeballed it because I've done this for a long time, so I know what I'm doing. So just add ½ inch to that, and then you end up bringing the front piece over to the pattern paper, like to the front part, so that you can notch out your that point. So right now we are going to move over to the back and then we are going to cut out the same way we did the front. So right now I got carried away. I think I was thinking of something. I don't even know what it was that I ended up cutting out from the waist point. Guys, this was so annoying. All right, so I ended up cutting out the back piece. Okay, so I'll just cut this out towards the zipper allowance. So as you can see, that curve that we have at the zipper point, that curve is very, very important, just so that your zip will not come out looking all bulgy. So if you haven't seen a tutorial on where I did this, like I said earlier on this before this we started cutting, just go ahead and check out that video on my channel so that you will not make that mistake of leaving out that bulginess at the back of your fabric. So just bring this forward just like how we did the front piece, and then we are going to notch out our that point, and that just seals everything for the front and the back cutting. So moving on to the sleeves, this is what we are going to do. You're going to fold the remaining fabric into two, just like what you're seeing. Then go ahead to measure this out. So what I'm having here is 16 inches, while the width of this, the width is 16 inches, while the length is 16 inches. So right now we are going to be folding this over again into four, and I'm just going to draw out a little mountain heel like this. Okay, this will now form as the sleeves. All right, so if you don't know how to do this, just go ahead and then mark out something that wants to look like number 2 on this. Okay, from the beginning top part down to the lower area, wherever it is you want it to stop, but don't go lower so much that it will be so wide. Okay, so just try this out on a different paper or on a different fabric. Then you end up cutting that and then try out and see how that looks like before you cut it out on your main fabric. I'm still going to be uploading a tutorial on how to cut out these sleeves. So as you can see on the top part of this sleeve, I didn't start from the beginning to carve out this hand. Reason being that this other top part, that is where we are going to be adding our gathers. Okay, so because this sleeve, we are going to be inserting some gathers into this sleeve. So that top part is where we are going to be inserting the gathers. Yeah, so that is it. So right now, this 16 inches that we cut includes the sewing allowance and also the part that we are going to be inserting our elastic into, that's towards the down part. All right, so don't worry, you're going to be seeing it once we start sewing this down. So remember that this is double. So the next thing that we are going to do right now is to place out our back piece like this, and then also we are going to place the front piece on top of it, and then we are going to sew down the shoulders, okay, using 1/2 inches. You're going to sew down the shoulder. Then after sewing that down, it's time to insert the sleeves. But before inserting the sleeve, you have to prepare the sleeves before we insert it. So right now, we're going to be inserting a gathers on top of this. So this is what it looks like after inserting a gathered stitch, okay, on top of it. So I'm going to be going ahead to draw out the lower thread. Okay, that's the thread that came from the bobbin case, not the thread that we used on top, like from the normal thread. So right now, that's what I'm going to be drawing, because it's easier for you to draw that one and then pull it in. But you can make use of any thread, but that one is always very much easier to pull. So that's what I'm going to be pulling now, just to put the gathers together. So after doing that, you just try to spread them out, okay, not too tight, depending on how you want this to be. This can literally control your sleeve. So this is how it's looking like so far, and this is the second part of it. I've already inserted the gathers on this one. So right now I'm going to be folding this in. Now first of all, you're going to fold 1/2 inch inwards, okay. Then you end up folding something that wants to look like 1 inch on top of that. Reason being that the elastic that I'm going to be using on this is a 1 inch elastic. Okay, so that passage will be enough for it to pass through. Then we are going to go ahead and then insert a gathers on the waist for the skirt region. So right now, after sewing that down on the sleeve, we are inserting our elastic. So the elastic measurement that I made use of is, I measured the upper part of my arm. Okay, so the exact measurement that I needed, not, you will not make it tight, just exact, make sure that it holds your hand but not tight. So that is what I measured out and I cut it out. So you notice that during the process of me pulling this in, that the fabric is much in than the elastic. Yes, this is because it's going to really give it that gathered effect, and it's not going to, the elastic is not going to be too tight on my hand. All right, so right now it's just what I needed to go around my arm, and also that's what I'm going to be using to pull in all these fabrics inwards. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So after doing that, you just end up sewing down those sides, okay, the sides, so that the elastic will not pull out, just to secure it and keep it in one position. Then after doing that, we are going to move ahead and then insert the sleeves on the shoulder. Just sew it round. So I want to turn it over like this, it will look something like this. So guys, this is what it's looking like so far. So I've already inserted my sleeves to this, and what I'm going to be doing now is to go ahead and then sew down the side seams. So after doing that, after sewing down the side seams using the 1 inch or 1.5 inch seam allowance that you inserted, we are going to be attaching the waist lines together, both of the skirts and also the top, and then we are going to go ahead and insert our zip. So after doing that, this is what it's looking like so far. Just go ahead and iron this, and then you end up having a beautiful gown like this. So guys, that is it for this tutorial. Please do want to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Until next time guys, bye.